You can't expect us to be wifey material for someone that doesn't deserve it.
Automatically wrong.
Okay. You can't give your best to someone that doesn't deserve it. So you expect me to give my all and give my best to
I
someone?
expect you to appreciate the men that built the world around you, that allow you to be able to live in a first world country. The entitlement you guys have. The reason the dating market is the way it is today
Mhm.
is because women have abused the free market system. Your great grandmother's generation didn't have the problems modern women had. You're the most educated, the freest, the most liberated group of women that ever lived, and you're the most unhappy at all. Why? Because one, nuclear rejections, so entitled. In college today, the average man sitting in college with a woman knows that that woman wants a man making six figures. They can't even date because today young women don't want men who are making average money.
This is a huge reason why men left foreign women. Foreign women, unlike Western women, are actually taught from a young age on how to treat men properly. Western culture, women are raised with entitlement and they're only taught on what to expect from men, not on how they should treat men. Men are only taught on how to treat women, but not on what they should expect in return from women.
Women, sometimes they're just like, oh, fuck this guy. He wouldn't even do this. He wouldn't even do that. While, like, they're not even doing it. You know what I
see so many
mean?
like TikToks or videos about young girls like 18 to 30 just talking about how they need a man who can do this, this, that, like who looks like this, looks like that. And then when you see them, it's just
Yeah,
like,
and they're not it, you know, and they
and
don't
then
do
when you
shit.
when like they're usually in podcasts or whatever, interviewed by someone, and then the person interviewing them or in the podcast with them will ask them like, okay, but what do you bring to the table? That,
Yeah.
and then they just can't answer it. Cause me, I bring myself. I'm the value, but then the man has no intrinsic value.
Yeah, that sucks, bro. Girls have to like, we have to grow up.
Yeah.
Why are black women so entitled? Why? I came across a story about the woman sharing that this guy reached out to her on social media wanting to just treat her to lunch, something I thought was very nice. Her level of entitlement was all the way up here because she assumed that he should have sent her at least $100. Number one, he's a stranger, so he's doing something nice. Kinds of his heart. Want to send you, buy you lunch. Here you go, sis. Have a great day. No level of appreciation, no gratitude. In her mind, it's like, well, that's not even enough money for my gas. That's not even enough money. He said, let me treat you to lunch. Not pay for your gas. Not pay your rent. Not buy you a new pair of shoes. Lunch. But what do? As black women, we find a way to be very entitled, to be very demanding to a stranger. And then we wonder why black men don't want to deal with us. We wonder why they say that we are too much to deal with because we have this very entitled, nasty demeanor that even somebody who's just doing something nice out of the kindness of their heart, you find a way to tear it down and say, what am I supposed to do with this? It's, I mean, like, come on. What are you supposed to do with this? Why is this even a thing? Why do you think that you deserve it all? Who are you? Who are you to think that you deserve it all? Answer that question. Who are you? You're a nobody until people get to know you.
Why American men don't want to date American women anymore. And little disclaimer, I do live in the US for the past 7 years. 1. Some American men feel that American women are very entitled. They feel that many American women expect a partner who fit a specific ideal. He has to be smart, attractive, successful, fit. They believe that many American women have unrealistic expectations. They expect their partners to do everything and they expect their partners to put their needs above their own. 2, because of the rise of radical feminism, there is a loss of femininity among American women and they even started to adopt some masculine traits. 3, opportunistic behavior. A big percentage of divorces are initiated by women and usually is because they prioritize their career and personal growth over their family life. And a lot of men also express some frustration because they feel that there is a lack of commitment and loyalty among American women. And that is why a lot of American men are now dating non-American women, because they believe that non-American women tend to prioritize mutual respect, shared values, and commitment.
Listen to this one.
So he knows I'm going to lunch.
He knows you're
He
going to
knows
lunch.
my vibe. He knows how I like to move, and he only sent $30.
He didn't have to send you that. You're not his child.
I'm not gonna bend over backward for a man that is just sending whatever he can.
So him doing the best that he can is not good enough. Y'all so damn ungrateful.
But if I'm talking
Yeah.
to him next time I'm out, and he says, "Oh, you need something for lunch," I'm gonna tell him it's okay. Somebody already sent me $100.
And I would politely say, make sure you continue to get that lunch from that somebody else.
Okay, if we're being completely honest, right here, right now, we've all eaten lunch for $30.
Yes,
let's start
100%.
Wait,
Cute little cafe spot, baby.
I'm
Yeah.
getting lunch for 17. I need a snappers to get something popping, but
Exactly. So why are you tripping?
We're not saying that we're ungrateful.
Right.
Food is food on the table. However, you know what the
Correct.
standard is.
Correct.
Me in that situation, handling it with grace. Thank you so much, baby. I'm so
Yes.
appreciative. I'm gonna still take a picture of that bill and I'm gonna send it to him. Thank you for the 30. That was the tip.
So you just gonna be an appreciative asshole.
Also, men, if you know that you cannot give $30 or if it's hard for you to give, then you need to date within
Don't
your...
date. Do
You
not
can
date.
date. No, you can.
Do not date.
But date with the woman that, number
not
one,
date.
does not have that expectation, or number two, it's in that range.
I get people have expectations and nothing is wrong with that. But stop feeling entitled to other people's funds. If someone gives you something, just be appreciative and stop trying to belittle them. They didn't have to give you shit.
So I've posted a couple videos recently talking about modern women and what their standards are and what modern women are looking for. And I've gotten a lot of comments from men saying that they are not looking for a modern woman. They want a traditional woman and that there aren't enough of them out there. So that had me thinking, like, well, what is the difference between a modern woman and a traditional woman? I wrote some notes here to distinguish the difference. A modern woman is someone who's independent. She has a full-time career. She prioritizes career and education over family and children. She is strong and wants to be taken seriously. And you'll probably hear her say things like, I don't need no man to support me and never depend on a man. A traditional woman is someone who focuses on family and children. She cooks and she cleans. She knows how to take care of her man mentally, emotionally, and physically. She's graceful and nurturing and, I'm gonna say it, submissive. So, for all the modern women out there, I hear all the time that they want a traditional man, but it's sounding to me like traditional men don't actually want modern women. And I can't tell you how many times I hear women say they don't cook, they don't clean, but yet they want a man to pay all their bills. So I'm just curious, women, do you consider yourself modern or traditional? And what kind of man are you actually looking for? And for men, what are the qualities that you're looking for in a woman if it's not a modern woman?
Women are the biggest gaslighters. And a way that they are gaslighting men, a huge one, is by saying, oh, a real man wouldn't do this. A real man would allow me to do this. A real man wouldn't care about this. The whole like real man thing, it's used as a way to try to control men and try to shame them into not having any boundaries and standards. It's basically just so they can get away with whatever they want and have any bad behaviors that they want to have without any consequences. And then they just use the whole like, oh, well, a real man wouldn't care. A real man wouldn't care about my past. A real man wouldn't care about body count. Men can have preferences, standards, and boundaries just like women do. And I'm tired of seeing women try to gaslight men. I saw this quote the other day and it was directed towards men and it was like, just know that if she's calling you a real man, you're likely a simp. And it's so true because the way that women define real men these days, they're just explaining simps. Simps that will put up with anything that they do, simps that put up with their bad behaviors, toxic patterns, and let them cross all the boundaries in the world. Women don't know what a real man is these days. It seems like they just want someone to run all over.
I'm very sick and tired of seeing girls acting entitled when they're dating somebody, especially in the beginning stage, like especially if it's a first date. I just watched this girl's TikTok talking about, she was showing a green screen screenshot about how this guy was trying to arrange a date and like he was trying to come to where she's at. So obviously she knows the restaurants and spots around her place because that's her neighborhood. And she's fussing over the fact that he's asking her, do you have any suggestions? If not, I'll pick one. Like that's literally what he said in the text message. And she's talking about how, like, anytime that she's trying to date somebody, like, she loses all hope. What the fuck are you talking about? Like, she's literally fussing over the fact that he doesn't have a game plan. Seriously? Of course I left a comment, by the way. I told her, like, if you want to date somebody, you need to learn how to meet people halfway. I don't know what girls think the dating is, but do you realize that you're dealing with a whole other human being? Like, okay, like, besides the whole, oh, who's the prize? Like, besides all that argument, okay? Like, whatever. Like, think whatever you want. You can think you're a prize. Absolutely. Good. But that doesn't mean that you get to treat people like shit. You're meeting someone for the first time. This is a man or guy, boy, whatever. But this is a human being that you're dealing with. And if they're showing effort, if they're trying to arrange a date with you, trying to take you out, show some reciprocity, show some mutual effort, meet them halfway, talk to them like a normal human being instead of acting like a fucking snobby bitch. Like, I see so many problems within, like, the girls too, like women too. It's like these girls be acting so entitled, and then they come on social media and get validation from other toxic women and girls. It's like, this is why you never end up in a healthy relationship, and then you talk shit about the same shit over and over.
Gentlemen, always spoil a woman because you want to, because you desire to, because you want to see that smile on her face. Because if you spoil a woman due to the fact that she inclined you to spoil her, she will most likely not appreciate what you are doing for her. The truth is that a lot of women that have entitlement syndrome, they feel that a man needs to spend X amount of money, a man needs to spoil them just because. And so those women will not appreciate what you are doing because they feel that they deserve it. They deserve it just for breathing. And so you want to be with a woman that's going to look at your money as if it's our money. And so she is not going to incline you to spoil her because she understands that you are making a financial investment in other areas. And so if a woman is inclining you to spoil her on top of the financial investment that you are making, dates and all these other things that you're paying for, then that woman is most likely not financially savvy, and she's going to set you back because she's not thinking as a unit. She's thinking of her own self-interest.
You're responsible for modern women acting the way they do because you tolerate it. Next time you're fed up with the unrealistic expectations that women have nowadays, remember this video and remember that change happens when men say enough is enough. Women know there will always be simps to cater to them hand and foot, so why would you expect them to change their ways? So many men nowadays are listening to propaganda telling them to yield to women at all costs so they conform and tolerate disrespect from their partners. If you want to see change in women, stop being afraid to call out disrespectful behavior when you see it. Stop being afraid to set expectations in relationships, and stop thinking that finally acting like a man is what's going to make them leave. Sure, maybe your values will push some women away, but they'll make the right woman stay. I'm not afraid to stir the pot, so why are you?
Accountability is kryptonite for women. Harsh? Maybe, but look around. The excuses are endless. I was drunk. He lied to me. It's not my fault. I'm just the victim. Sound familiar? Here's the problem. When things go wrong, instead of owning the choice, there's always a story that shifts the blame on somebody else. She cheats and says, well, he wasn't giving me the attention. She lies and says, I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. She blows up a relationship and says, he made me do it. But here's the truth. Those aren't reasons. They are excuses. When men mess up, society rarely lets them off the hook. But women, shoot, too often they play the victim card. And here's the danger about that. If you never own your actions, you never evolve. Accountability isn't punishment. It is your power. Without it, your growth dies. Excuses feel safe, sure. They protect your ego in the moment, but tomorrow they destroy trust, respect, and even your self-worth. It's not the mistake that ruins the lives. It's the refusal to admit, yep, I chose that. I'm in the wrong. I'm sorry. Without that honesty, the same mistakes keep repeating. So here's the challenge. The next time you screw up, don't play the victim. Don't reach for the excuse. Try hard not to. Try and say the two hardest words on earth. I'm sorry and I'm wrong. Because until accountability becomes your superpower, it will always remain your kryptonite. You agree? Or am I completely wrong? Let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it.
Hi, I'm Delara. I'm undocumented. I have lived in the US since I was 5 years old, and I have a law degree from one of the best schools in the United States. And I want to start by giving you the benefit of the doubt. You want to feel safe. Maybe you were told a story about how undocumented immigrants are dangerous.
Okay, so you've been here since you were 5 years old. Got it. So there's no reason you're still undocumented. So if you get deported, that's on you, number one. Number two, you say that you went to law school, but you're here advocating for people who choose to break the law. It doesn't make sense to me. And number three, acknowledging that you went to one of the best law schools in the United States. So that's an amazing opportunity. And the United States of America gave you that opportunity. And yes, people want to be safe, but people also want people who feel entitled like yourself to get out of here, because this country doesn't owe you anything. You want to come here and say, oh, I went to the best law school. Okay, you did that because of this country. So the least you can do is respect the laws of the land. But since you don't want to, that is another big reason why people just are not having it anymore. Not only because of the safety issue, but because there's people that feel entitled and you're not entitled. You're over here like, let me give you the benefit of the doubt. Honey, you're the one that needs the benefit of the doubt. You're the one that's here illegally.
Of things I just want you to make sure that you know in case you didn't. The first thing that is really important for you to understand is that native-born Americans commit crimes at a higher rate than immigrants. Even though it's well documented, you don't even have to be that smart to understand. When you commit a crime, you have way less to lose than I do. Because if you commit a crime, maybe you get fined, maybe you spend some time in jail. If an undocumented person commits a crime, they face deportation and being ripped away from their family. The stakes are completely different. So we are careful in a way that you don't have to.
Okay, and there's just one thing I want you to make sure that you know in case you didn't. We don't care. We don't care if 1% of illegal immigrants are committing the crimes. And for you to sit there and act like you get to tell us which risks we need to be okay with, you don't get that right. Like, I don't understand the entitlement. Even though it's well documented, you don't even really have to be that smart to understand. Just because you think that undocumented people have more to lose doesn't mean that that will stop them from committing crimes. And we've seen it all the time. For you to have the audacity to sit there with that condescending tone and say, you know, maybe you were told that undocumented people can be dangerous. No, it's not a story for some people. It's reality. People have lost loved ones due to people who should have never been here in the first place. And how dare you sit there and say that that's a risk we should be willing to take? I'm not a salesman, but as a consumer, if you were trying to sell me on why undocumented people should be able to come to this country, I will tell you that you would have just done the opposite. Because instead of solving a pain point, which would be, yes, people want to feel safe and be safe, you think like safety is just a non-factor and a non-issue is so disingenuous. And I had to stop the video right there because the entitlement, that alone for me personally is enough of a reason to say get them all out of here. They don't appreciate nothing. They don't care about this country or the people. Get them the hell out of here.
Young, beautiful women tend to get more favorable treatment by older male colleagues.
If I am the employer and I'm a woman and there is a very, very beautiful woman beneath me, am I less likely to promote her?
I hate to say this, but I think that, yes, there is a chance that that would in fact be the case. And you hear a lot about this when you hear about the sort of queen bee syndrome, where you'll have women feeling like they're being penalized unfairly because of their attractiveness by older women. And honestly, I think that some of the things that we've seen with, women trying to protect younger women from things like sexual harassment in the workplace, that some of this is actually an attempt by these women who are protecting these younger women of trying to prevent these younger women from having a resource acquisition advantage based on their beauty. Because I think that many times what you tend to see when women are trying to prevent other younger women from being sexually exploited is what's going on is you have younger women who are physically attractive and who are using their physical attractiveness as a means of being able to get, favors. The form that this generally takes is you'll have young, beautiful women, and if they have male supervisors, they just favor them because they're beautiful women. And I think that when you are an older woman and you see this going on, right, on the one hand, you can be concerned about the young women being exploited, but you can also be concerned about the fact that there might be unfairness going on and that these young, beautiful women may have an advantage that you don't have yourself because you're not a young, beautiful woman. And so sometimes I think that there are these two forces at play when we see the move toward trying to separate young, beautiful women from men in power. In part, that's, driven by genuine concern for the younger women, but then also based on a desire to eliminate unfairness based on the fact that young, beautiful women tend to get more, sort of favorable treatment by older male colleagues.
A lot of men complain about not getting attention from women and they blame it on women being entitled. But the truth is, women are not entitled. We are just in a generation where we have so much information coming at us all the time that our standards are raising. We know that we don't deserve to be talked down to, mistreated on a day-to-day basis. We deserve someone who can show us the love and the affection that we deserve, because there are men out there who will show us that. The reason these men are feeling slighted is because we, as a generation of women, are becoming empowered to take a step in the direction that we want, which often means taking a step away from these men who are not going to provide us with what we want. Rather than changing their behavior, these men are saying, okay, women are the problem. Women are entitled, which is why you see this rise in anti-woman, misogynistic views that are circulating among young men in particular. It's because they don't want to change. They want to think that we are the problem.
Why do some men act like they're entitled to a beautiful woman? As a divorce lawyer, I see the long-term damage of this kind of entitlement. Men who truly believe their wives owe them affection, attention, submission, even when they've given nothing emotionally in return. He's emotionally stunted, inconsistent, can't hold a conversation without making it about himself, but still thinks he deserves someone who looks like a supermodel just because he exists. Boys are groomed from an early age to believe that women are a prize, that sex is something they're owed for being nice. Every movie is about a girl who's supposed to be theirs at the end. Everything reminds them of women, and not in a romantic way, in a possessive way, in a you belong to me kind of way. As children, they learn that being powerful means having a beautiful woman next to them. And if they don't get one, the rage builds. And that's where you see the rise of bitterness, resentment, even hatred. Entire online communities are formed around one shared belief. Women won't give me what I deserve. It's the incel mindset, the podcast rants, the high-value man speeches that are just insecure men yelling into a mic. They don't want love. They want validation, status, and possession. And when women choose themselves or raise their standards or simply don't want them, they call us names. They blame feminism. They take it as a personal attack because their whole identity was built on the idea that a woman would complete them, submit to them, and validate them. If you desire women, but at the same time you do not value women as human beings, that's entitlement. And if your masculinity crumbles just because a woman doesn't want you, you were never a man to begin with.
Y'all want to talk about men cheating? Let's talk about how feminism gave y'all a pass to cheat and play victim. Y'all love screaming, men ain't loyal. But as soon as y'all cheat, it's, oh, he wasn't meeting my emotional needs. Y'all cheat and call it healing. Y'all disrespect men and then call it setting boundaries. Feminism told y'all to be strong, not sloppy. You're not a victim of his life. You're a product of your own lack of discipline. It's crazy to me. If a man cheats, he's a monster. But when y'all do it, it's empowerment. Nah, it's not healing, it's hypocrisy.
An extraordinary man is literally just an average woman. Oh wow, he cooks, he cleans, he communicates, he's emotionally intelligent, has a job, is reliable, amazing, best man you've ever heard of in your life, right? Name one woman you know who's not all of those things. It's because we are.
They hate men. Okay, let's stop sugarcoating it. They guys, they can't stand you. You're going out on dates with women who can't stand you on second one. They don't like you. Maybe it's a little jealousy going on for some reasons. We'll talk about that. And the text is the way that an extraordinary man is just an average woman. That's what we're talking about here. So let's talk about modern women for a minute, because there's a utopia that's created here and a delusion about what modern women are bringing to the table. We're not talking about your grandma and we're not talking about your mom. We're talking about today's women. Do they cook and clean? Or do they get offended when you suggest that part of their role as a feminine woman would be to cook and clean, or a role as a mom or a caretaker of a home, right? I'm supposed to cook it. Well, you do it. I'm not going to cook and clean. It's not the 1950s. Let's be real about how that conversation is going down. Let me ask you guys, are they reliable? Do you think they're reliable? Get in the chat. I want to see. Are they reliable? Do they have reliable loyalty? Are they reliable and dependable in terms of what they bring to the table? What's reliable about them? Nothing. What is reliable about them? Nothing. Again, we're talking about modern women, young women of today. Not reliable. Not wanting to cook and clean. Wanting, so I don't know. Can you pay for a housekeeper? That vibe. Not reliable. They don't want to take care of anyone but themselves. right? They want to, do their thing. I want to like go to the gym and I want to like, do my nails, do my hair. Got to get my hair did, right? Extensions. Got to get my eyebrows. Now they're all in their 20s doing the Botox. They look like aliens, right? Freakish aliens. Weird. I got to get my filler. And Kylie Jenner's just, they want to just do them. Selfish. What are these modern women really like? They don't want to cook and clean. They take offense if you bring it up. They're selfish. They don't want to be the kind of mom that's going to be present, right? They're telling you from I'm not going to stay home. They're boss babish. They want to do the same career climb as you, right? You ask them what they bring to the table and they say this. My new hair extensions. What else, honey? They're not reliable. They're not reliably loyal. They're cheating. They've got, all these messages in their phones from, they got all the backup guys. They're not doing what they say they're doing, right? So just be realistic about what these women act like, who these guys are facing on dates. No one wants to say the truth, so we're going to do it. That's right.
I'm 28 years old. I'm in my first relationship with a woman ever, and this is why dating women is not easier than dating men. Okay, number one, the beginning phase when you're first trying to talk to a woman is so much harder than talking to a man. Flirting is not the same. I remember when I was dating men, I used to think flirting was so easy. I would either like roast the shit out of them, or I would just have this level of confidence. Whereas with women, especially feminine-looking women, you can't really tell if they're also interested in other women. B, it's so much more nerve-wracking. You're like, I like your top. Whereas with men, I'd be like, do I make you nervous? It's just so different. In my personal experience, men are pretty straightforward. I feel like men make it pretty clear if they're interested in you or not. Women, on the other hand, we do not think in a linear way the same way men do. We are so much more complex. Like, we think about so many other things when we're dating somebody. I'm not saying that all men are like this, but in my personal experience, women are just far more complex emotionally. Speaking on emotions, when I was dating a man, I could be so fucking pissed off and just like huffing and puffing, and he would never notice. Now that I'm dating a woman, Jess and I are so intuitive with each other's emotions. It's insane. She could so as much as blink different or breathe slightly off, and I'll be like, what is going on? I just feel like we're so much more intuitive and in tune with each other's emotions, whereas with men, it just goes right over their head. Because we feel so deeply, anytime that a fight happens or there's a disagreement, I don't know why, but the emotions feel 10 times heightened in comparison to when I would go through things with men. I feel like I would be able to brush it off no problem. With Jess, and maybe it's also because we're like very in love, but you feel the emotions and you feel them so deeply because your emotional connection is just so strong. One thing I really was not prepped for when dating Jess was the eyeballs that we get when we show any sign of PDA.
When I was dating men, we would go out, hold hands, kiss in public, and nobody would bat an eye. But dating Jess, whenever we go out and we show any signs of PDA, people are just staring. Like, we literally had an instance where we went to a restaurant and we kissed and people started clapping. Lastly, apparently the breakups with women are way more intense, way harder than the breakups with men. I'm hoping that I never have to experience that, but I have heard from other people that your first breakup with a woman is not good.
Have you ever made a woman pay for herself on a date? You seem like the type that would do 50-50.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Better, so you have money.
Is that what you're here for?
No, I'm here for love, but I can never love a broke man.
If more than half the guys raise their hands, the men may vote to replace the girl. I'll leave it on you guys.
I think this video perfectly illustrates the reason why most men are checking out completely from being a provider in today's society. Unfortunately, for one, most women expect you to provide as a man, and that if you don't do it, you are less of a man for it. And two, which I believe is the biggest issue of them all, is if you come in and you provide, they don't believe that they have to do anything for you in return, even though the things that provider men are asking for are very simple things, like a woman being nice, feminine, friendly, and submissive, and not a pain in the ass. They're not asking for much, but even that They feel like they don't have to give you back in return because, again, as a man, you are expected to do these things. Which is why at the end of the video, you saw every single man in that room raise their hand, because the entitlement that she was giving off is a turnoff for most men.
I'm not going to thank him for changing a diaper. I'm not going to thank him for cleaning a toilet. I'm not going to thank him for making the bed. I'm not going to thank him for doing any of the things that just come with living in a house. Like, if he would have to do it, if I didn't live here, like if he lived by himself and that was still a required task, I'm not saying thank you. That is just part of existing in a functioning home. Things I will say thank you for: getting my towel for me if I forget it when I'm in the shower, refilling my water and putting it on the nightstand, plugging my phone in if I forget to and I fall asleep. Those are things I'll say thank you for. I'll even say thank you if I tell him, hey, I'm going to fold that little laundry later, and he goes ahead and does it. That's helpful to me. That was something I was going to do, and he was aware, but he...
Imagine if her husband used the same logic on her about her kids and money. Imagine him saying, oh, well, you would have been raising those kids anyway. You would have been making your money anyway, so I don't have to do anything. Appreciation goes a long way in marriages, and the number one thing men will tell you is that they need to feel appreciated, even for the small things, especially after working a long day. The worst part about posts like this person is a stay-at-home mom, which means her husband is likely the provider and paying all of her bills, so she can sit on TikTok. But then she doesn't want to show a little bit of appreciation, and yet we wonder why the divorce rate is so high. You spend so much time focusing on what you're not going to thank him for instead of being thankful that you can be a stay-at-home mom in the first place. But the part that gets me the most above all is that she actually has mental health in her bio. I really feel bad for her husband because he doesn't realize that there's women out there that would appreciate him for everything big and small that he does, including the fact that he's able to provide a home that she can stay home and pretty much do nothing but be on the internet all day. And again, women are validating her in the comments saying, oh, I'm not going to thank my husband for the bare minimum. Oh my God, it's the bare minimum. But it's not about what the task is. You guys are looking so much at being resentful rather than just being like, oh, I have the extra help. Thank you so much. And you both should do that. Both men and women need to grow the hell up and just appreciate what you have, because I promise you, as a single mom myself, any little help helps. And that's how I know that most women are entitled these days, because they actually don't know the difference, because they're actually being treated well. But then they get on the internet and disrespect their husbands like this. The worst part about it is she has mental health in her bio. So I'm assuming that the mental health only goes one way, and that's her way. And that means that her husband has to be attuned to her feelings and his feelings don't matter. And that's obvious because she feels it's mundane to thank him for the small things like taking out the trash. Additionally, she's so focused on not thanking him for the little things that she's actually walking around kind of like, oh, I'm not going to thank him for that, because she has a sense of entitlement because he's taken such good care of her. Think about how fortunate she is to be a stay-at-home mom and be a blogger and sit on TikTok all day while she considers it raising the kids, but she doesn't think that she owes her husband any additional appreciation because it's expected. She's likely a woman that'll never be happy, and that's why she can't appreciate even the small things. Okay, bye. And by the way, when I commented on her post that she was entitled and that she doesn't appreciate anything, she blocked me. So that just goes to show you that she's only going to keep comments and information when it serves her, which actually shows how selfish she is. Okay, bye.
The reason why I haven't really dated in the last 6 months is because I have been so focused on myself that if someone were to come into my world, they would need to be a guy who creates a multi-step plan for a date, or just in general is super thoughtful, because I am super thoughtful about myself and I'm super intentional about myself. Biggest turn off in dating is when a guy literally just replies to your Instagram story or likes it and then it's like, hey, do you want to come over? The level of dating nowadays has gotten just so bland. What happened to the days where people are writing handwritten notes as if their life were depending on it? Wow.
The sense of entitlement is so crazy. No man fucking owes you a multi-step fucking plan without ever having knowing you. Here's your multi-step plan. He texts you, he slides into your DMs, you chat back and forth. You might even go on a couple dates, and within those couple dates, you're already sleeping with him, and then you end up regretting it, which is why you're posting dumb videos like this. And when men used to write love letters, it used to mean something. Now men could write love letters, give flowers, plan all of the dates, and still get fucked over. And what happened to dating? What do you mean? Women made it so socially acceptable that it was cool not to care and that it was cool to brag about having rosters. Let's be so for real, we all know what happened here. She probably gave it up too easily, one too many times to the guy that like just slid into her DMs, and now she's all salty about it. So the next guy has to then prove his worth and prove his value by having a multi-step plan, even though the dude before didn't have to do shit to get any. And that's just for starters. A multi-level plan. This is like corporate talk, but what do you mean? That he hits you up in your DMs, that he texts you good morning, all of the things that men are already doing, and it's not good enough. This is the type of chick that will expect like a trip to Bora Bora for her birthday, but when it's your birthday, she's gonna get you a pair of socks. So basically the new guy gets to pay for the last guy's mistakes and for her poor decision making in the past. And honestly, all this is gonna do for the men is weed out the ones that are just using you for a multi-step plan, because we all know that women, when they like a man, will sit there and literally watch football or play Xbox or whatever your hobbies are in silence just to be in your presence. And not for nothing, where is her multi-step plan to keep him? Where is her putting in all of the effort? Where is she writing him love letters? Where is there any sense of reciprocation, or is it just all on the men to continuously give all of this effort because she's entitled and feels like he owes it to her? For the record, any person that's actually working on themselves doesn't need to come online and let the world know that they've been working on themselves if it's actually valid and legit. Change happens in silence, and there's no need for bragging. Okay, bye.
I'm so sick of men telling me I shouldn't have a career. Can you believe them? Wait, did they specifically say career or job? Does it matter? All they're doing is underestimating me. Do they realize I can do anything they can do? I don't think you're hearing them correctly. Oh, I hear them perfectly. They just want to control everything and keep us oppressed. No, listen closer. They say you shouldn't focus on a career because they believe you'll be better suited to stay at home and take care of kids. And only once you get married. You can obviously support yourself until you don't have to. They just think they're better than us, and their little egos can't handle us working. I don't think I've ever met a man who thinks women are dumb, incapable, or inferior. They know we can do math and send emails. They aren't saying we can't. They're saying we shouldn't, because they would rather provide for us than leave us to provide for ourselves. You're so brainwashed. That's just benevolent sexism. Wait, so we get on men for not wanting to step up. Then when they step up, we call them sexist? I think you might want to think about who's actually being brainwashed. I feel sorry for girls like you.
If your man ordered a drink and you feel like you prefer his, isn't he supposed to give you his drink and then he take yours?
You start watching them folks.
We're gonna do this live. This is how it's supposed to go. Babe, you wanna try my drink? Here you go. Oh, you like mine and you don't like yours? Okay, give me my drink back. You can finish your drink and or keep sipping it until the waiter or waitress comes. Hey, excuse me, can you get her what I'm having? Yeah. Do you guys not like the other one? Do you want a refund? No. It's okay. She just wants mine too. You not finna drink my drink and or take it. There's a reason why I ordered it. Some of you need to take a social media break. Some of you see these skits, see these relationship TikTok, YouTube, and think that's real life. Honest, the entitlement some of you have once you get into a relationship is insane. This is no difference than y'all going through the McDonald's drive-thru. He asking you, hey, do you want anything to eat? You sit up there and lie and say no, and then all of a sudden, when you smell them fries in the bag, you want to start eating my stuff. Now, I asked your bald-headed self, did you want something? And you said no. So keep your nasty fingers off my foot.
We're trad wives. We believe in gender roles in our marriage.
We're trad wives. We believe a clean home is a happy home.
We're trad wives. Always obey our husbands.
We're trad wives. We choose to stay home and support our husbands.
Trad wives. We always have dinner ready when our husbands get off work.
Trad wives. We always satisfy our husband's needs.
Trad wives. We wouldn't be caught dead in a bar or club without our husband.
Trad wives. We always respect and appreciate our husbands for their hard work.